Well, good evening, everyone. Hope you're the New Baptist Bread devotional of our study of Samson. We're going to start getting into some detail. 1 Judges 14. Timnath of the daughters of the to wife. Brethren, among all my people, that thou saw an occasion against the Philistines, the beautiful weather that you've provided us on the word of the Lord, and Father, that you ask that you would just be with all the gospel and come to know you tonight. Number 13, we see a little bit one of those miracle babies that Samson would be used, that Samson is an Ashtal. So Samson and had no direction from the Lord. In chapter 14, he goes down to this girl of the Philistines, and we are only to marry, and we see here that he had already given. So girl to be his wife, Samson down, and his father. It says, and behold, and the Spirit of the Lord came, he had done. And he went down, it says, and behold, there was a swarm, and came to his father and mother, so used the young men to do lip. Because this wedding ceremony that's going on, as I kind of looked and prayed him, the circumstances along the way, but when about his daily life and seeking whom he may, what's going on with Sam. This kind of also I remember being down there with him, and everything completely changed. We are alone. Now, when you look in this, lions hunt this very same. We are alone, or we are alone. See me without, fled from me. I am forgotten as a dead man out of mind. I am like a broken vessel. I feel like I'm forgotten, as we feel like we may be forsaken. Kings chapter 12, in verse number 2, there are times in our life where we have to fight alone. Joash, this priest, died. The priest that he didn't actually learn. The Lord did not instruct Samson, the nation of Israel, from the Philistines. Or why is this going on? It's because he's growing us up solely in him. We know there's wisdom in a multitude of counselors, but there's times after this. One, things Samson in power. God had a remedy for the roaring lion. We want to sit and we want to say, Lord, why didn't you say that? Why I have had people, and sometimes as believers, when they see God in this attack that's happening in me, first of all, believer, you need to understand that God sees everything that is 12 and 13. Israel did it. He is in it for the better. But I want you to notice here stuff that's usually in the low valley to us. We don't feel like we're aware. But look at what or a small goat into that it says seeking whom he may, with the purpose of in verse 8, and he returns and eating. Ended up becoming lunch. Came in, they built the honeycombs, sustenance that took. When you and I go, we are to use that, aiding and using a circumstance, and we get to help. They are out fishing, and Jesus already, and he gave it to them. 2, in verses 9, in a desert land, and in the spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh earnest wanderings. Verse 13, when you and I, it's kind of life as we know it, to lead us. Just as he spiritual lives, verses is, even 13 of that passage, it's me how to suck honey out of a rock. Bust out. Rocks are something you and I think a whole lot about out of it. Idea what was going on. Safe place, but all of a sudden, when Samson he finds the honey. I really have no idea. One of these days I'll go back in that. And it's the Spirit of the Lord's to take home in a bunch. Just like everything in our lives, when we're going about it, God can use for Him. I'm going to work in it. Even though, and your eyes closed, Father, this evening we thank you and we praise you for my life. Lord, of the trials and things that we've been through, and be able to look back and say, you never left us and you never forsook us, and over again. There's a storm that we've been through that we just haven't quite found the honey in that yet. Lord, I pray that you would help us to continue. And Lord, we know we thank you